Coming up at 9, with so many of you traveling to your Thanksgiving holidays or you're expecting loved ones, meteorologist Sawyer McElroy has a look at how the weather is shaping up for Turkey Day. Plus, a deadly car explosion at the border between the United States and Canada comes amid growing concerns about homeland security. Find out what witnesses saw and how law enforcement is responding.
It's been really hard for me to get over everything and trying to forget.
And a CBS7 special report. We'll hear from a family who lost an infant to a drunk driver. Hear their plea to the community to stop this from happening again. The news at 9 starts right now.
Live with studios in Midland and Odessa, you're watching CBS7 First Alert News at 9 on the CW West Texas.
I'm Matthew Alvarez. Thank you so much for joining us here at 9 o'clock. Joined by meteorologist Sawyer McElroy in the First Alert Weather Center. Sawyer, we're getting closer and closer to Thanksgiving tomorrow already. How are things looking outside?
Well, it's been an absolutely gorgeous day and even pretty pleasant this evening out there, Matthew. Temperatures a little bit on the cooler side, and we're going to see some kind of chilly temperatures for the overnight. Temperatures across the state are currently in the 40s and 50s. A little bit closer to home, we're looking at those temperatures in the 40s, 50s as well, and even some 30s. Marfa's already currently at 37 degrees. So like I said, a little bit chilly through the overnight hours. Winds not too bad, anywhere from being calm to about 10 miles per hour. Just a light breeze for our Wednesday night, and satellite and radar clear and quiet conditions across all of West Texas and southeast New Mexico. For tonight, like I said, cold with those temperatures into the 30s for most of us for the early morning hours for our Thanksgiving. And we're just going to see our high temperatures declining over the next couple of days as well, as we see a couple of cold fronts roll through the area with temperatures into the 40s by the latter half of the weekend, starting the new week. But overall for Thanksgiving, looking like a great day for tomorrow.
Glad to hear that, Sawyer. Thank you very much. Continuing coverage now, where a car explosion at the U.S.-Canada border initially caused serious security concerns Wednesday afternoon. The crash happening on one of the busiest travel days of the year. As Jen Sullivan tells us, officials are now saying this does not appear to be terror-related.
Emergency crews rushing to the scene of a car explosion. Portions of a security checkpoint by the U.S.-Canada border erupting in flames. Smoke filling the air, debris scattered across the road. The horrific scene briefly heightening security on both sides of the border, but officials now saying this was not an act of terror.
There is no sign of terrorist activity.
The explosion happened just before noon Wednesday at the Rainbow Bridge, which connects Niagara Falls, Canada to the state of New York.
This is one of the busiest crossings, not just in Western New York, but along the entire U.S.-Canadian border.
Law enforcement sources familiar with the investigation say videos show the car was entering the bridge from the U.S. side. They say the driver sped up, hit a curb, and went airborne over a barrier, landing in a secondary search area where it then exploded. Both people inside the car were killed, the incident prompting nearby border crossings to temporarily shut down.
Anytime you have an incident like this, you want to take an abundance of precaution.
A Customs and Border Protection officer suffered minor injuries. It could take several days before officials piece together exactly what went wrong. In New York, I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Let's talk your health now back here at home, where holidays are often marked by joy and excitement. However, it's also normal to be stressed and anxious. That's according to Christy Edwards, the CEO for Centers, Children and Families. She has tips about finding the joy and navigating tension among families. Heading home may cause family tensions to arise, and Edwards suggests avoiding hot topics like politics and religion. She also emphasizes that the holiday itself won't be perfect and to embrace that or even laugh it off.
And so if you have a moment to experience joy, do not let anything get in the way of that. Don't say, oh, but we've got to get dinner has to be on time. If your kids or grandkids or the neighbors are in the yard playing a game of football, go outside. Watch that, join that, be very present, experience joy, allow yourself to do that.
Anxiety in general is high among Americans. Edwards says to find relief by asking for help and assigning tasks during celebrations. Of course, coming up tonight at 10 o'clock, we'll have more about loneliness and remembering past loved ones in a positive way. Let's go to the Tall City now, where the Midland Soup Kitchen Ministry hosted their 37th annual Thanksgiving community meal today. This is a tradition that the Midland Soup Kitchen has been doing for quite some time. Volunteers helped the Midland Soup Kitchen to serve food to families in need. They prepared 38 turkeys yesterday for today's meal.
Definitely makes us more appreciative of what we have, and just making God the center of everything reminds us of what Thanksgiving truly is about: family, being together. And
it was a good opportunity for families to spend time together and also spend time with their community. As the holidays fast approach, agencies across the area are ramping up patrols to keep drunk drivers off of the roads. I spoke with one family who knows this loss of drunk driving all too well, as Midland Police Department and Odessa Police Department are asking you to step up and turn the tides to never let this happen again. It's a CBS7 special report. On these roads, thousands of people are driving to their destination. Whether it be work, the grocery store, to see a friend, or simply go home, little do they know not all of them will make it there.
It's been really hard for me to get over everything, trying to forget.
That is something Nayeli Mendoza and her family know all too well. June 12, 2023, a night that changed their lives forever. A 6-week-old baby died from injuries sustained in a crash. Cordero now has arrest warrants for leaving the scene of the accident involving death and intoxication manslaughter. Words that Midland, Odessa have become all too familiar with. Killed by a drunk driver.
I sit there and I try to tell myself, God's gonna handle it, or even down here, the law's gonna handle it, or someone else will. Like, that's just how life works.
Mendoza's daughter, baby Eliana Garcia, was only 6 weeks old when her life was cut short. Now, Eliana's mother and father, along with her 1-year-old brother KJ, are left only with her memory. Baby Eliana is now among the many lost to drunk driving each year. The Texas Department of Transportation recently released a shocking report which showed that Odessa and Midland are ranked number 1 and 2 in Texas for the most drunk driving crashes with death or serious injuries per 10,000 people based on a 3-year average. And now both Midland and Odessa police are responding to this. I spoke to Midland Police Officer Nathan Lan, an expert on DWIs, but also the chief of Odessa Police, Michael Gerke. They give us a better look at how prevalent this problem is here in the Permian Basin.
Friday, Saturday nights, wow, we're constantly making DWI arrests. When I was a patrolman years ago, it was, we would think Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights were our big nights. Anymore, it's any night of the week.
And in Midland, police are also catching drunk drivers
on a regular basis, especially on the weekends.
Here's a closer look at the numbers. This report was based on data from 2020 to 2022. It shows that the city of Odessa saw 12 DWI crash-related fatalities in 2020, 11 in 2021, and 6 last year. As for DWI crashes, the numbers peaked in 2021 before pointing down last year with 157 crashes, showing a slight improvement. However, second-place Midland is showing a concerning trend. Not only are DWI-related crashes showing a spike last year with 196, but fatalities nearly tripled from 2021 to 2022. However, MPD says this year may tell a different story.
We have a lot more work to do toward this, but I think we're making good ground. The 2023 stats that just came out here for Midland, the trend is going down.
Even with a glimmer of hope for improvement, police are putting many drunk drivers behind bars.
I can tell you this year, from the beginning of the year to the 8th of November, we've run the numbers. We filed well over 500 DWI cases. So the officers of the Odessa Police Department are out there on the street following these cases.
But arrests can only help so much. This family, currently in the process of seeking justice for little Eliana, pleads with their community.
Don't put my family at risk no more. We paid enough. Don't take these two from me. Don't put my grandson at risk because you want to go home.
Robert is the grandfather of Eliana. Currently, Daisy Cordero is facing charges of intoxication manslaughter and bribery. However, she, as of now, has bonded out of jail. Although the family is disappointed with Cordero's bond, they are pleased with what Odessa police have done for them.
We have some of the greatest, most personalized, respectful officers.
For the people behind the badge, this problem has a lasting impact on them as well.
Well, I got kids myself, and we're human. and it takes a toll on you after the years.
How do you come back from that? How, as a father, as a grandfather, how do you come back from the loss of a family member like that? We always keep those things in mind.
While officers on the streets work to keep drunk drivers off of them, they know that's not the solution.
If you can prevent the act from happening, you have no victims. So here's where a lot of focus needs to happen on prevention. We've got to get with community organizations. We've got to get with bars to stop the over-serving. We've got to get with just people and say, look, if you find yourself intoxicated, please call someone to give you a ride. Call Uber, call Lyft, call a friend, call your mother-in-law, call whoever.
Personal responsibility may be one of the only ways to prevent more heartache, something this father knows all too well.
Everybody knows what you can handle, what you can't handle. You know your limit on drinking. You know your limit. Everybody knows their limit.
By speaking about what happened to them only months ago, they hope their message makes a lasting impact, praying Eliana's passing is not in vain.
If we saved one life, would we be okay with that? Hell yeah, we will, because one life is really 10, 15, 20 lives that would have been affected by that one life's loss, and it'd be worth it.
An uphill battle for police. They hope the public heeds their warnings.
No excuse. If you drive drunk, you have made a choice to break the law. You have made a choice to potentially cause serious, irreparable harm to a family in this community.
The reality now for this family is they must continue to cope with their tremendous loss and try to keep moving forward. However, they have a call to action for the community they call home.
Don't look the other way. Don't think, oh, hell, I don't know that person. If they're drunk, don't let them drive. If they insist on driving, call the cops. Give them a ride. Be the friend to them that y'all were to us when y'all gave us all the money that you gave us, all the prayers that you gave us, all the support that you gave us. Keep giving us that support in the sense of do your part to try to stop the DWIs.
Still ahead, Midland County leaders are in the final talks on the construction of a new jail. We'll tell you what commissioners discussed on this issue next. And it's that time of the year again. Tom's Coats is underway. Chief Meteorologist Tom Tieferteller asking for your new or gently used coats to be donated at any of the locations right there on your screen. They're also posted at CBS7.com. And speaking of the holiday season, we'll be broadcasting the City of Midland tree lighting ceremony live Tuesday, November 28th. Join us at 6 o'clock for the big celebration. We'll be right back after this. Stay with us. Continuing coverage now in Midland County, where leaders there are in final talks on the construction of a new jail. Yesterday, the Commissioners Court discussed the financial aspect of this facility. CBS7's Noe Ortega spoke to members of the Commissioner's Court and has more on this new building.
One of the main reasons the Commissioner's Court wants to make a new facility is because the current detention center was last built around the early 1990s, and since then, Midland County's population has grown significantly, and the area just doesn't support expansions. But this new area will be able to expand from 400 to 800 beds, have much more classrooms, and many more things.
The idea is to build a jail, and if there's more space that is needed, all you would do is essentially just add on to it instead of having to build a whole new infrastructure, right?
The new facility has been in the works for years now. The county has options for land and how it's going to be designed, but they still need the funding for it. Both options would require a small tax increase. However, county leaders believe this is something that is long overdue.
When that jail was designed and built, certain things were in effect, but now the design is so much superior than what was in place at that time.
The cost of this new facility currently sits around $170 million. To get the funding, the county will either propose a bond or a certificate of obligation.
So both of them will require a tax increase in their own ways. When we do a certificate of obligation, we try to roll in that tax with what we currently have to stay within the budget. In other words, cutting in certain areas to be able to come up with the money. If the tax comes up, it's going to be very minimal.
The proposed jail will be 230,000 square feet. It will also come with larger classrooms, more separation between the men and women, and safer conditions for jailers and inmates. It's expected to be located near County Road 110. Now, nothing has been made official, but the Midland County Commissioner's Court believe that they'll have a final decision of where it's going to be located and how much they're going to invest into this jail before the end of the year. In Midland, I'm Noe Ortega, CBS 7 First Alert News.
Thanks, Noe. Let's take a live look outside over the skies over Odessa right now. Everyone's getting their last-minute grocery shopping done for Thanksgiving tomorrow and Black Friday the day after that. Coming up next, meteorologist Sawyer McElroy has a look at your extended forecast and what we can expect not only into the holiday, but into the weekend right after that and the first days of December coming up very shortly. We'll have that next here at 9.
Now, from the CBS 7 First Alert Weather Center, here's meteorologist Sawyer McElroy.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. Hope you enjoyed those cooler temperatures out there today. I know I did. Speaking of those temperatures, let's take a look at them across the state. Observed highs in the 60s for everybody today, and A little bit closer to home, when we saw those high temperatures in the 50s and 60s. Odessa and Midland topped out at 62 today. Alpine 59 degrees, 56 in Marfa, and Presidio only got to about 61. Current temperatures outside on the cooler side, 40s, 50s, and even a 30 out there. Marfa's sitting at 37 at the present time. Odessa's at 49, Midland at 50 degrees. Winds relatively calm, anywhere from being calm to about 10 miles per hour. Just a light breeze for us, so those wind chills aren't really an issue out there tonight. Satellite and radar, quiet and clear conditions as far as the eye can see on satellite and radar. So, and really across the state as a whole, we are seeing some rain near the Brownsville area, some cloud cover in southeast Texas, but otherwise any travel, last minute travel you might have to do tonight, not looking to be an issue. Really across the country as a whole, we do have a few trouble spots with some snow in Montana, North Dakota, Idaho, but otherwise not looking too bad for any travel that you might have to do tonight into tomorrow. For our weather headlines tonight, clear skies, cold temperatures. We are going to see those 30s again for the overnight and early morning hours. Thanksgiving, sunny and cool. Actually, really a picture perfect day for our Thanksgiving. For this weekend, we're going to see those temperatures cooling down even more though. I know I'm excited for our futurecast headed through tonight and into our Thursday. Clear skies, quiet conditions. For our Thursday, mostly sunny skies. We are going to see some cloud cover through the evening hours and into tomorrow night, as we do have a front rolling through on Friday. For our Thursday, those temperatures cool. Once again, 60s across the area. Midland, Odessa looking to see about 64 degrees. Like I said, mostly sunny skies throughout the day with that cloud cover kind of building in the evening. For our CBS7 First Alert exclusive 10-day forecast, we have that front on Friday, then even stronger cold front rolling through on Saturday. A little bit of cloud cover for the weekend and into the new week with temperatures into the 40s for the second half of the weekend, into the new week as well. But otherwise looking pretty good. Quiet conditions, some sunshine mixed in. Overall looking like a great week ahead and even better for Thanksgiving Day.
Thank you very much. Coming up next year at 9, a look at the annual Cowboys Thanksgiving game. We'll have that and some other holiday sports right after the break.
Now, sports with sports director Jacob Brandenburg from the Ford Sports Desk.
One of my favorite Thanksgiving traditions is watching football. Football games have been played on Thanksgiving going all the way back to the 1800s. In 1966, the Dallas Cowboys played their first Thanksgiving game. That's been a tradition ever since. The Cowboys and Detroit Lions have both played home games every Thanksgiving since 1978. Usually the Lions are the earlier game around noon, and the Cowboys play around 3:30. This year, Dallas takes on Washington live here on CBS7.
My mother had been working throughout the night on the meal, and we'd watch the first game and eat in between, watch the second game, take a nap, and then you couldn't wait to get the turkey sandwiches too. So all that, just great memories. I mean, you always grew up with football on Thanksgiving Day, so now to be part of it's really cool.
Again, you can watch the Cowboys play Washington here on CBS7 tomorrow. Kickoff is scheduled for 3:30. The legendary Dolly Parton will be performing at halftime. If you've got family in town and need something to do, how about Odessa Jackalopes hockey? The Jacks are at home on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Odessa has won 2 of its last 3 games. The loss was 5-4 in overtime. The Jackalopes players will have family traveling from places like Michigan and New York to come watch them play.
Yeah, my dad's coming. He's flying in on Friday after Thanksgiving, so go pick him up from the airport and watch him hockey. It's his second time coming down. He came down here last year, so he's excited. Haven't seen him in a while, so it's always nice to be around your family for the holidays.
Games start at 7:15 p.m. on Friday and Saturday. Sunday's game is at 3:15. Now, I won't see you tomorrow, so a reminder that Monahans and Balmorhea have playoff games on Friday. The Lobos are playing in Lubbock. The Bears play in Rankin. We'll be back after this.
Well, here's one final look at our 10-day forecast. Absolutely gorgeous for our Thanksgiving. Couple of cold fronts coming through, but otherwise a good week ahead.
Yeah, really good week. Thanks for joining us here at 9. See you at 10 o'clock on CBS 7.